Happy Monday. It is 6 a.m. and here we are. Another week spread before us, full of opportunity and possibility. Time for living, for growing, for reflection, for uh, actualizing all that is within. And for some of us, like myself, this is a process in which we are every day. Right now, we are moving through the chakras in just a very introductory way, a very elementary way, just examining each one by one. I do them cyclically, man. Over time, I go through the chakras one by one. I always start at the very beginning. I never pick up. If I lose my place, when my consistency in the past had become scattered, I would just start back at one. I viewed it as perhaps a blockage. If I ever got stuck on one, I would see that as more of a blockage, something that I needed to work through, maybe a little bit longer than I wanted to, or longer than the others, and I would work through that, and then back at the beginning. But right now we are looking at the second chakra, the sacral chakra, whose name is Swadhisthana. And it is the second of the seven chakras. It is low in the body, in the area of the reproductive organs. And having moved through the first chakra to a kind of understanding of how our lives are shaped, our thoughts, our beliefs by the root dynamic, there's so much in that, as in the root chakra. This is a vast, vast world, and there are, I dare say, infinite circumstances into which an individual, a human, could be born, and equally infinite combination of teachings that each individual could get based on the places where they go, where they are taken by their life's journey, particularly in the beginning, where we don't really have much say so over that. We go where we're taken. We take what we're given. We learn, in a sense, only what we're taught. And understanding that is important, not only for ourselves and our own individual journey, but in the journey with other people. Just that understanding that everyone isn't taught the same thing that I am taught. Everyone doesn't believe or think the way that I think or believe, or even in the way that I think or believe, or process things the same way, due to not only those, but internal, personal things. We are just vastly unique individuals. But understanding how that group dynamic plays out into our lives, we can begin to see as we graduate through that choice. When we get older and we are able to make more active decisions, take more creative direction over the course of our lives and the unfolding and the shaping of our path, we can see to some extent every choice being a spiritual choice. Every choice, whether made actively or just accepted passively, is in my experience, in my life, a spiritual choice. As Khalil Gibran so aptly put it in his book, The Prophet, he said, "Who can separate his faith from his actions?" What I believe is it plays out in everything that I do, everything that I say. Who can separate his faith, his belief, from his actions? Who could spread before him the hours of his day and say, these are for God and these are for myself? It's as far as I'm in my life, as far as I'm concerned, it's all one. There is no separation. That's an illusion. Every single thing that we do, every single thing that we say, is a reflection of our inner self, of our true beliefs. And so that is what I believe. And so this is just kind of the work that that I'm going to be doing, that I'm going to be inviting you into over the course of this week. The power of choice and decision, um, relationships, passions, and sexual energies. These things are driven here at the second chakra level. But for today, we are going to leave that there. That is the foundation of the week, and we are going to begin our day as every day in a moment of quiet reflection and gratitude and foundation laying, determining how this day is going to play out. I do this every single day. You know, in as opposed to just seeing how things go and seeing what happens to me and what kind of energies and situations I come across, and just determining right then in the moment how I'm going to respond or react. As opposed to react. That I prefer not to react. Reacting is reflexive, and sometimes stems from a very deep and dark place of my own. So I generally prefer to have a plan in place before I even approach the day. If I come into any uncomfortable situation, I just want to be able to balance it out. I don't want to move through that. I don't want to be in any uncomfortable situation with anyone. It's I don't want to be in any strife, and I choose that ahead of time. And I can't control what other people do in that situation. If I come into a situation of strife, I have control over only one individual in that situation, and that's me. And I have the responsibility for myself to do all that I can do to play that out in the way that I want it played out. I may not necessarily be able to control every situation. I'm not trying to control every situation. I'm only trying to steer it in the way that is away from division. I don't want division. I don't want separation. I say we don't have to be best friends, but I certainly cannot do with any enemies. I have enough already out here kind of trying to trip me up. It feels like I don't need another active thing. So anyway, you get it. So beginning the day deliberately, we're in a seated position comfortably where we can remain for 15 minutes or so. Fidgeting is natural. The mind moving is natural, but over time, we notice these things begin to taper off, to diminish, and the body becomes used to this through consistency and through intention. So seated, looking ahead with no focus, just straight ahead, an unfocused gaze, breathing deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth. With each in-breath, taking in oxygen, oxygenating every cell in the body. Breathing in life, vitality, health. And exhaling negativity, strife, stress. Releasing fear and anger and all of the crumminess from last week. And with the next out breath, closing the eyes and returning the breathing to normal, in and out through the nose. As we settle into this space, beginning the journey inward, take a moment to be aware of the space in which we are sat, the place where our body is physically situated, aware of the familiar space that surrounds us. And tuning into the physical senses. Feeling the body pressing down against our seat. Feeling the contact between the seat and our body. The contact between our hands and arms and our lap. Becoming aware of any sounds that may be piercing the early morning air. Noticing the sounds as they come from seemingly nowhere and disappear. Noticing also any distinct smells that may be in the vicinity, as well as any tastes in the mouth. And as we are aware of these physical senses, we take a moment to check in with our body. Just for a moment, scanning from the soles of the feet to the crown of the head. Just scanning up across every part of the body and noticing how it feels today. But not stopping to linger. Just noticing and moving on. Are there any places of comfort or discomfort, relaxation or tension? Does each part feel as it did the last time we checked in? With our scan complete, we shift focus to the breath. Just observing, watching the body do so masterfully one of the myriad things it was created to do naturally. Noticing where in the torso we feel that rising and falling of the breath. Is it high in the chest and the lungs? Is it in the diaphragm? Or perhaps low in the belly? Again, observing, not controlling or directing in any way. as we transition further inward, we take a moment of gratitude, searching our minds for that for which we are thankful today. This morning, in the spirit of that cultural observance of yesterday, I am thankful for all the mothers in my life, all of the women who have played a role in who I am ultimately becoming, all of those women who have helped me see from a maternal and motherly place many things to which I was previously blind. And for all of those who are responsible for raising children who will one day go out into this world and make an impact, whether it be great or small. And I say aloud, thank you. And as I begin the day, I'm determined to do so in a deliberate way, preempting the many thoughts my mind may create or the feelings my body may express. I am healthy and strong in body, mind, and spirit. I am a brilliant and creative being. I express my thoughts and feelings and emotions responsibly and respectfully. I am responsible with my creative energies and accountable for what I create. I develop and cultivate strong and healthy relationships. I deliberately cultivate a strong energy that allows me to be responsible in every situation. With our intentions for the day set, we return our focus to that rising and falling of the breath, just observing. If counting helps to keep the focus, then count the out breaths to a count of 5 before starting again at 1. begins to wander, it's all right, it's natural. But the moment we notice, redirecting the focus to the breath. It's perfectly natural in the beginning for the mind to wander or for us to lose count. The moment we notice, reshift the focus to the breath. If we've lost count, just start over at 1. And for just a moment, releasing all focus, all attention, and allowing the mind to do what it wants to do for just a few moments. Think about what it wants to think about, roam where it may. Turning the attention once again to the breath as we become again aware of the space around us, of the place in which our body is physically situated. Aware of that familiar space that surrounds us. Noticing once again the physical senses. The weight of the body pressing down on our seat. The contact between the body and the seat, between the hands and the lap. Noticing once again the sounds. As well as any smells in the air or tastes in the mouth. And when we're ready, slowly, gently opening the eyes, but looking forward with that same unfocused gaze and retaining our positions. Bringing forward all that we determined our day to be. And that's it. Today, in honor of the Swadhisthana chakra, again, I encourage you to do something creative. Write a poem or a short story, draw, paint, play an instrument. Um, I can't exactly tell you what it's going to do, but I can liken it to being a coach. You know, a young man, football player goes to the coach and says, why do I have to run through these tires on the field? There are no tires on the field. And the coach is just like, just do it. When the time comes, your body will know what to do. It creates something, not by virtue of doing it, but it creates something else. That analogy was much better before. But anyway, it will help in ways that are not necessarily understood in the moment. Just like meditation, it may not seem clear from the outside, just looking like, why would you just want to sit in a quiet space? That's okay. After you've done it for a while, you understand. And if that person will do it, then they will understand. And in the same way, this act of creation, this writing, this drawing, this painting, this musical creation will do things over time in life. All right, have a great day. Spread light and love everywhere you go.